And we're back. I mentioned that I would probably crash pretty soon because I'm going through a lot of lists, but welcome back to the Cursect Mushihime Roundtable. We're going over all the knowledge we know, everything we've amassed. Check out part 1 if you missed it at a later time. In a nutshell, the boss so far is weak to fire, lightning, and ice. Eventually, she'll start gaining a progressive resistance to what you're doing. So you need to go into the fight with a party of different elements, or vanguards that are different elements, or whatever, you know, whatever's going to work. It sounds like just caging it will not be the best option. So we got about halfway through the vanguards before I crashed. Last one I mentioned was that this boss is a Spectre, so we're looking for things strong to Spectre, and Oda was one of them. She might do okay. Oda might be okay. Hideyoshi is not related to it. Shibata is strong to Spectre, but Shibata's like bottom tier, so I'm not going to bring that up. Lancelot is weak to Spectre, unfortunate. Although she doesn't really have any elements for it. Gawain is strong to Spectre. Gawain has Holy. I mean, if you have a Gawain 5 scroll and you want to go use Holy, try it out. Be my guest. Okay, Kenshin is strong to Spectre. Okay, so Kenshin, while slow, is a slow vanguard. She still is ice, and she's strong to Spectre. So you might be able to just throw Flash of Retributions at it, and if they hit whatever she does for Flash Retribution, whatever that skill is called, Brandish. If you just throw brandishes at it and avoid death, by all means, try it out. If you have a maxed out Kenshin, give it a shot. She's strong to Spectre. It's better than nothing. Shingen is strong to Spectre. I don't know anything about Shingen. I'll be honest with you. I know that he has a bunch of different elements. He can use fire, wind, mountain, and something. Maybe his fire is good. I've never seen anyone use him ever. So, you know, take that with a grain of salt. Yes. Yup. Okay, so where was I? I got a whisper and I answered it. What the hell? Stop blipping! Jesus. Just like... I can't whisper at the same time. Okay, so where did I get to? Ho-Oh is not on the list. Okay, Ho-Oh is fire, but she's not good to Spectre, so we're not going to bring that up. 6, weak to Spectre, weak to Spectre. Riku is weak to Spectre. Sugamo is weak to Spectre. That is unfortunate. Sugamo is one of the best ice vanguards in the game, and that is a damn shame that she is weak to Spectre. I don't recommend it. You'll take too much damage. I've heard that the boss has like a dive bomb attack that does like 15 to 20k like right off the bat. So if you're the wrong type and you're not an iframe, you might get your shit kicked in. Yeah, they can be. Oh my god, I can't see! Fuck's sakes. Yes! Yes. I can't see. Oh god. Okay, where was I? So, where were we? Maeda Toshi is strong to Spectre. Atta girl! We might see the return of Toshi. I have a Toshi, but I have an Inochiyo as well. Hades Annihilator. She's very weak though, but Toshi with lightning might come clutch. We might see the return of Maeda Toshi. Oh my god. Cool. So she's on the list of good characters. Good. Good. Toshi's on the list. Inuchio Broken Seal is strongest Spectre as well. Broken Seal might be an option. Fantastic. So both Toshi and Inuchio are there. I talked about us doing damage. What can we do about defense? So if you're going to be using... that's a good question. Makami, oh my god, you're so loud. See, I don't really care for like amounts that talk. Bad mic quality. Thanks. Let me check. Let me change that. Listen, Melon Girl. Hey, you got an onigiri in front of your name. That's pretty cool. I saw a picture of a melon. And then I see an onigiri. It's fantastic. Let's see here. What do we got? Hopefully my mic is better. And I sat up, so maybe it wasn't tugging on anything. So in terms of defenses, if you're going to be using fire and ice, the best thing you could do is have a redux, and I know that is a very presumptuous thing to say, but that would give you the most defenses you could have, would be a redux. Apart from that, yeah, the boss has 5 bars of health. Like Dullahan had 3, this one has 5. It's more like the boss has 5 phases. So if you assume every phase is like 100 million or a billion, or I don't know what it's gonna be like. But defensively, try not to be negative poison or negative wind, because the weapon is poison and wind, so you don't want to be negative wind. That, like, nothing we have is negative poison. Nothing we have is positive poison, so you cannot realistically give yourself those elements for resistance. It's not possible. So, on that note, is it 5 bars totaling? Oh, that's it? Just 2.4 billion? Oh, that's nothing. Those phases are going to go quick. Oh, okay, I thought it was going to be 5 billion. Man, what a buzzkill. Okay, so defensively, you'll probably need Magatamas with a lot of, defense on them, and element. I mean, if you're worried about not dying, you could build yourself a fire Chiami or an ice Chiami or a lightning Chiami, something that will help you heal as you hit it over time. I know that when I fight Purgs, with Honda especially, or any Vanguard, really, if I have the Chiami for it, I wear 2 big mags, a Chiami, and a Senryu. Like, that's my build. That's what I do. So, the thing about Keiji, from what I hear, is, well, Keiji has like a really, really big, advantage. So Keiji works for like 80% of the fight, and then at the end, she kind of becomes resistant to your elements, so you got to change things up. So we're going to need a mixed bag of elements or players. There was an ornament for it. I wouldn't create a poison mag per se, but I would get this thing's mag and then go from there. So we mentioned this like 5 times, but so far fire, lightning, and ice seem to be the strongest elements to use. I wouldn't recommend using poison or wind. So moving along with our little list of vanguards here, the last one we said that was good is potentially Meta Toshi. The boss is weak to every element? Interesting. Well, that's good. But it has the progressive resistance. So if it's weak to everything, then eventually like let's say you only use fire. Eventually it's going to become really resistant to fire to immune to fire for a set period of time until it wears off. And then you have to change element. So like if you go in there with only right, it has adaptive resistance. Correct. So if you go in there only with fire, you're eventually not going to do anything. So KG, for example, if you built your KG with, I mean, just don't. If Oni mode is going to be a problem, like for us with Dullahan, for reference, with the Oni mode, like you were there, we would do it like every little bit. Like we would do Dullahan Oni mode, and then eventually it just got so tedious that it wasn't worth doing. Like in the time it took us, like, you know, it would take us like 8 to 10 minutes to do that Oni mode, and then we would just like do something else. Like we would just run the hell mode. Like the Oni mode's not really that essential. Right. Like okay, so that's a great question, Botch. So if let's say for example we're fighting the boss, right? Oni mode isn't essential, but let's say we're fighting the boss, and let's say for example, okay, let's say I go in spamming Rolling Thunder, and a bow user goes in spamming Blaze Sanction, and a twin sword user spams Collapsing Blade, and an Odachi user is using like Fierce Slash, and then an Axe user is using Icicle Moonlight. So you have 5 different elements hitting it at the same time. Well, chances are it's going to then become immune to all those elements at once, based on how this sounds. So realistically, you would want to go in with one thing at a time and then switch over. Right. That's exactly the point. You would be screwing yourself. Correct. Like, if it works that way, where if 5 of us all use a different element and hit it all at the same time, theoretically speaking, it would become resistant to that element at all at once. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you have to have people coordinated. And we also learned that it attacks you the minute you enter the dungeon. So first aiding is going to be rough. So ideally, we'd want someone with KG or Shiro to go into the dungeon first, go into mount form, take aggro, and then the others go in. And then they do what they have to do. So I think that might be the best approach. Because we can't just go in, and as I said this earlier, for PC, they don't really notice this. They're all playing on solid-state drives. They're all doing what they have to. They're all like playing Oni in their best life. But for us who have a mixture of PS5 players and PS4 players, because we can't just wait in the loading screen or wait at the start of the dungeon for the fight to begin, someone has to go in there first and take point. So if you're in a party of, like, let's say 4 PS4 players and 1 PS5 player, perfect. The PS5 player loads in first, they turn into KG, and they like maneuver around the boss, get them away from you, and then the others come in when they load in. So like it's actually going to affect how we play on PlayStation more so than it is on Steam and stuff and such. At least that's what I imagine. So yeah, theoretically speaking, if we all walked in and hit it with 5 different elements, it's all going to become immune to those elements right away. And yes, it does have a cooldown nerfing mechanic, so that means we're going to have to get accustomed to changing our weapons to continue our cooldown, and it's going to hinder our DPS. So for example, KG cannot realistically change weapons to avoid this. However, KG players can turn into Koga, the mount form, and erase all debuffs on their player, come back, and they're good to go. That worked in Makami, the Super Makami fight as well, and the Shuten Doji fight, where they had the ability to erase our cooldowns and get rid of cooldown reduction, etc., etc. So that's another really, really good point, is the ability to be able to reset those negatives. So I don't know about Physical Element. Physical Element is going to be really interesting because every one of KG's moves, for example, are Slice and Fire, or Slice and Wind, or Slice and Mountain. So also, if you have the all weapon for KG, you're kind of screwing yourself up really bad because you're hitting it with 3 different elements. So let's say, for example, someone brings Shikibu. Shikibu has insane DPS, absolutely insane DPS for Ice and Dark, really, really strong. Shikibu, however, does have multiple elements. Shikibu has Rain, Dark, Ice, Fire, lots of different options. But every one of her moves is part Ice or part Dark. I don't remember how it goes. So you're always like nerfing one of the 2 of them. But realistically, if you can go in with a well-rounded party and find a way, get some synergy going where you can shoot it with a bow or fill up with first aid or bright homing, lunge step, whatever. If you find a way to fill up your Vanguard without them dying, fantastic. But we kind of have to go into this with everyone doing something different, but at the same time, letting people do what they have to do. So as I mentioned, Toshi is a good example of a good Vanguard here. Toshi is strong to Spectre, and if for those that have Inochio and Toshi, you can go in as Toshi, use the Wind. When the Wind doesn't work anymore, turn to Inochio, use Lightning, and vice versa. So that's really good. Yep, it's in my Discord, I believe. I think I posted all the materials. And I did mention that once I'm done talking about this topic, I will post that stuff, as a YouTube post, a YouTube community post. So next on our list is KG. Also, Broken Seal works as well, so Toshi. So the ones I've really mentioned right now that work, so Valkyrie, basically you're using anything good to Soul. So Valkyrie's going to work, Kirin's going to work, Miyamoto might work. I'm not sure. I imagine if you continue to hit it, the resistance will continue to grow. So, you have to wait for it to reset its resistances, I would imagine. Sasuke is the right type. Sasuke actually has really good Dark that can stay away with. If this thing is actually taking neutral damage to everything but poison, Sasuke might be viable. Maybe. We did mention that Oda is good to Spectre, so she might be viable. Shibata is good to Spectre, but we're not going to talk about that. Gawain is good to Spectre, so you can go use Belinus Holy. It's actually pretty strong. Kenshin has Ice. She's strong to Spectre. She might be okay. Sadly, the androids Riku and Sugamo are not good to Spectre, so I would avoid them. Medatoshi, good to Spectre, fantastic. Inochio, good to Spectre, fantastic. Lots of iframes. KG is strong to Spectre. It's not just KG. It's literally KG is strong to Spectre, so she will be good. Most parties, if they have 1 or 2 KGs, will be better off for it, because KG does have 3 elements. It's just finding the right mags to give you that coverage. So, I know that if you have Kotanoa mags or Reduxes, you can just focus on Fire and Wind and then hit it offhand with Mountain later. Or if you have Horse mags, specifically Fujin mags, you can hit it with Mountain and Wind and not Fire. So that'll be pretty interesting. Because, even if you had a party of KGs, let's say, for example, we're going to want someone using Fire, someone using Wind, and someone using Mountain, respectively. Because that way you have 3 versatile Vanguards you're using, essentially. And Keiji has the ability to remove the negative cooldown and then SP drain and all that bullshit this thing's going to do to you. So Keiji is widely respected for this fight. Shikibu is strong to Spectre. Thank God. Thank Christ. Shikibu is a fantastic Vanguard. She's ice, dark, really strong. Maybe if you throw Creation, it might cause someone to lag, so we'll see about that. She does have Mountain, Ice, Fire, Wind. What element is that? Gale Erosion, Wind, Ice, Ice, Dark, Water, Dark, Fire, Dark, Ice, Dark, Ice, Dark, Ice, Dark. Golden Radiance is really powerful. So Shikibu has Ice, Dark, Mountain, Wind, Fire. 5 different elements. I don't know how you'd find mags to make it work, but she does have a lot of options. So Shikibu is on the good list. That's good. Now here's one of the best Vanguards for this period. I've heard people tried it already. I'm very, very excited. Battle Maiden Shizuka is fucking ready to kill this Insect Queen. She's ready to fuck house. She's ready to hit it with 100 million fucking damage. I'm so excited. Battle Maiden Shizuka is gonna be good. It's her time to shine. I'm so happy. Battle Maiden Shizuka, if you can charge up your arrows for I think it's Dance of Scarlet Flame. Distant Fire. If you can charge up your Distant Fire to maximum, and then you just start shooting Dance of Thorns, 100 mil, 100 mil, 100 mil, 100 mil. I saw someone say today in Discord that they were able to hit 100 mil with Shizuka on the boss. So if that comes to play, clap, 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 clap. Battle Maiden Shizuka has the ability to turn her Pierce into fire with Winged Dance of Flames. So you can go in and do fire mode and beat the shit out of it with arrows, 100 million a shot. Oh no, fire doesn't work anymore? Go back to using 100% Pierce and go from there. It's actually right OP. It's really good. Her moves are 100% Pierce or 100% Fire. There is no in between. So, and she also has Winged Dance Spectral Boundary, which if you hit the enemy with it, they become more susceptible to fire. So that will really, really help out your team in that early fire phase. So I think I can't wait to see how well Battle Maiden Shizuka performs in this fight. I can't wait. So every Vanguard on screen right now is good to Spectre, and they're strong. So that's phenomenal. Ibaraki Doji Nidaime is neutral to S. I don't recommend her. She's too slow for whatever the hell this fight's going to be. I don't recommend it. I really don't. Honda Tadakatsu. Strong to Spectre. Need I say more? If you get into Honda, you have your lightning lasers, iframes out the ass, and then you can switch to mountain, and you can use non-element. So, Honda. Fantastic. Fantastic. Shiro is neutral to S. I wouldn't really bring him unless that's all you have. So far, I don't really know Shiro that much. I know he's insta-charge, but primarily, being insta-charge is good. Having mount form is fantastic, but on paper, he might not do as much damage as we expect. Akechi Mitsuhide. Akechi is our newest Vanguard that exists, and sadly, she's neutral to Spectre. She's not weak to it, but Akechi can do 20 mils. Akechi is kind of busted, dog. She's very busted. She has impact, ice, gives you crit, attack percent. I think Akechi could probably pull it off. Yeah, they're part slice, part element. Yeah, for sure. So, Ono no Komachi, she's strong to Spectre. If you have a built Ono no Komachi and she's someone you use and you want to use her and you know she's good, go for it. But if you're not in one of those places, you don't have someone better, I wouldn't really recommend it. Genbu is strong to Spectre. She's dark and water. Yeah, Akechi still hits 20 mils, I imagine, yeah, because she's neutral. Genbu is Dark Rain, and Genbu also has access to non-element, which is very, very powerful. Yeah, Battle Maiden, I was just praising it, yeah. Because you guys have been fighting this thing all day. And Genbu has the Dream Residue, which gives her 3 hits of immunity. She might come out clutch. If this thing just takes damage from everything, Genbu might be really good. Genbu has Dark and Water at her arsenal, and non-element if you use her buff. So, could be really, really powerful. Wolf King Kaguya is strong to Spectre. I don't know how viable she would be. Blitz Nail is really strong. Pumpkin. She does have that one Oogie Howling Moon where the enemy just gets a lot less defense. Howling Moon, how does that work? Howling Moon, tear the enemy apart from the inside. This bullet does fixed damage, reduces the enemy's fire and dark attributes. So you can lower how much. They'll take more damage from fire and dark. I don't know. The boss's attacks that will drain 150 to 100. Oh, yeah. Her missiles are good? Sweet. Oh, good. Hopefully. Good medis are great. That's fantastic. So her missiles are good? Fantastic. That's great to hear. So dangerous missile. Yeah, I know the animation takes way too long. I know. But it's just a thought. But if the missiles are good, then that's great. Kaguya, that's her missiles. That's her bread and butter. Dangerous missile. Absolutely. Give it a shot. Wildcat Momotaro is Dark and Lightning. I don't know much about Momotaro. I do know that he crashes players often on console. So I personally wouldn't recommend it because he's still temperamental. But I mean, if you have a Wildcat Momotaro, he's someone you use, you know what you're doing, and it works, by all means. But from what I've heard from people that have ran this, Battle Maiden Shizuka's good, Honda's good, Akechi's good, Keiji's good, Kaguya's good. So, you know, everyone's got something to bring to the table here. Valkyrie was probably good, and Kirin is the right elements too. The boss summons poison fog in the ground. If you stay in the fog, I can't see at all. Lunastasia, are you good to Spectre? No, thank God. Asuka is strong to Spectre. I don't know anything about her. No one realistically has a 5-scroll Asuka or Chihiro. I don't imagine. So I won't bring them up. Zunko. Okay, so for you Zunko stands out there, Zunko is strong to Spectre. Mochi Mochi Des. Go for it. Go kick some ass. Go use your Zunko. Go do it. Do it. Just do it. Just go. Just go get them. Fuck them up with your Zunko. Everyone that lives and swears off Zunko, go use Zunko. Fantastic. Mochi Mochi Des. Boom. Just kill it. One shot. Fuck them up. Kotanoa Akane is neutral. It's whatever. Okay. Cool. And I don't know anything about Itako. People are trying to lag me out. Yeah, it's going to take a while to make, for sure. Yeah, I think so. Like, honestly, if they're going to make content that forces us to play together, I love it. Like, I love it. Like, and I know there's some people saying, like, oh, I don't like having to rely on other people. I hear that sentiment. I really do. But I like it when they force us to use things we don't traditionally use. Like when Yogg first came out, it was phenomenal. We had Venuses throwing out heals and medis. We had Ho-Oh going in. We had it was so fun. It was so fun. So fun. Jeez, that took too long. So I want to do Purg Oni.
Okay. Oh, so I think it's gonna be fun. I think it's gonna be a new experience, something to remember. Like, and I'm really, really glad that it's like Dullahan, where you're just gonna get your drops. You're gonna get your drops given to you. You're gonna get your recipes just handed to you. I don't know how many they have running per Goni. I don't know. I just got invited. I don't know what I'm getting myself into. I know that my build's